This next comic, you guys are going to love him. You may have seen him on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Make some noise. Start clapping your hands for Dave Konig. Thank you, Ed. And after that last joke, I'm just... So I've had this like at least 4 times in the past month. I've had people come up to me and say, all concerned, and say, Dave, as a Jew, are you afraid of all this anti-Semitism that's going on? And I feel guilty. Because I'm not afraid of it. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned because I feel most anti-Semites are just, they're not really committed to it. Most of them are what I call situational anti-Semites. They're not anti-Semitic all the time. It's just when they're around Jews, It's just something about us. It triggers them, and So I'm not really that concerned. The normal anti-Semites are not a concern. What you want to keep an eye on is like the next level, the virulent anti-Semites, because they're really involved. They're very big on social media. They'll tweet a lot. Like I hate the Jews. # stupid Jews. So that's you got your regular anti-Semites, then you get your virulent and then you really want to keep an eye out for the rabid anti-Semites. Because they're just relentless, You can't make small talk with them at a party. It's like, hey, Bob, nice day. Yeah, nice day to hate the Jews. It's like, what do you do with that? It's like a conversation stopper. So that's it. You got your regular anti-Semites, then you got your virulent, and then your rabid anti-Semites, and there's nothing above. There's like a category. There's one. It's Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's got her own. Because once you get into Jewish space lasers, show's over. That's it. The game's... You won. You won. That was so nutty. I thought, it's possible. Sounds like something we do, right? So I've reached a point in my life, this happened about 6-7 years ago, and it's going to happen to all of you. I've reached a point where my brain is shut down. I can't learn new phrases or new buzzwords come out, and I don't catch up with them until years later. People know what they're talking about. I have no idea. This will happen. How old are you, sir? 32. 32. I have expired medication in my bathroom older than you. So, but people, I hear these phrases. So I just caught up. This one came out a couple of years ago, I guess, and I just caught up to it recently as a love language. People talk about what's your love language, and I never know what. I was at lunch. I was having lunch with a friend, and I ordered a grilled cheese sandwich, and she said, "Oh, don't get the grilled cheese sandwich," and I said, "Well, that's what I'm getting. I'm getting a grilled." She said, "No, it's dairy. You don't want that." I said, "No, actually, that's what I want. I want a grilled." She said, "Order the falafel." I said, I don't want falafel, I want a grilled. She said, oh, I'm sorry. She said, that's my love language. I like to take care of people and help them out, And I'm thinking, no, apparently your love language is you're a pain in the ass. My love language is I want to eat a grilled cheese sandwich. So, that's the love language. Apparently it's an all-purpose, it's like a get-out-of-jail card, It's like you can say anything. And then if you say that's your love language, you're off the hook, So I could walk into a bank and say, this is a stick-up, give me all your money. I'm sorry, that's just my love language. My love language is robbing banks. So that's what I do to express my love to the... So I was watching a documentary on a near-death experience. You ever see these things about the near-death experiences? These are the people, people die on the operating table, and they're dead for like 40 seconds, And then they bring them back to life, and it's very rich, they all come back with the same story, right? They all say, oh, I saw myself rising up out of my body, and I saw my body on the operating table, and then I rose up, and I was in a tunnel, And then I saw a light, and I heard a voice saying, go to the light, go to the light. Which, this makes me anxious, because I have a remarkably bad sense of direction. And I would need more explicit instructions, I would need, go to the light, not the first light, the second light, after the Sunoco. Now keep going, you're gonna see a sign for limbo. Don't get off there. You'll be stuck there forever. And you want to stay on the service road. Don't get on the Jean-Paul Sartre Parkway because there's no exit. That joke is much smarter than I am. I have a GED. I don't even know what no exit is, but I know it's something smart. So I have lived in New York City. I was born and raised in New York City. I've lived here my whole life, except for a few years where I left the city and had a little house in the suburbs. And when you leave the city to move to the suburbs, are you folks from the city? You're from New York? Yeah, people like you. Your friends in the city, they like to lord it over you. Like they say, oh, how can you move to the suburbs? You gotta drive everywhere. Everything's closed. Why, here in the city, why, if I wanted a quart of milk at 3 o'clock in the morning, all I gotta do is leave my apartment, walk across the street, buy me a quart of milk. If you're buying milk at 3 o'clock in the morning, that is not an expression of the independence of city life. That just means you've poorly planned out your dairy purchases for the day. And what is this peculiar combination of insomnia and lactose craving? Causing all these people to wander the streets at night, 3 o'clock. Where's that? I gotta get the milk. I need skim milk. 1%. What do you got? What do you got? I'll take the oat. You got oat? I'll got almond milk. Anything. I gotta have the milk. What do these people do at 4 o'clock in the morning when the stores run out of milk? They're down at the docks on the black market, buying the unpasteurized stuff. And they say, they go, oh, how could you move to the suburb? Wait, there's no culture. Wait, here in the city, we have culture. There's no culture. Like I'm supposed to think they're out at the ballet and the opera every night of their lives. I know these idiots. They're doing the same thing in the city I was doing in the suburbs. They're sitting on the couch watching The Real Housewives of Secaucus. Then you move to the suburbs, you buy a house for the first... Did you ever own a house? Yeah, you know. So you know. You buy a house. And what happens, your first day in the suburbs, because they know you're a city guy, they all come over, all the neighbors come over, and they want to give you advice. They want to help the city kid out, you know. And they say, listen, this is your first house? Okay. Here's what you do. When you go on vacation, leave a light on in the house. See, that way the burglars will see the light, and they'll think you're still home, you know, and they won't break into your house. So first, I'm thinking, what is this neighborhood I just bought into? I spent a lot of money for this house, and there's all these criminals waiting for me to leave. And secondly, how exactly does this work? How is this 60-watt bulb is suddenly an all-purpose criminal repellent cloaking device? So the crooks, they're in the bushes, right? And they're casing out your house, and then they go to break in. They go, whoa, Rocco, let's get out of here. He's got a lamp. And why is the criminal named Rocco? Apparently I bought a house in a 1930s Warner Brothers movie. Well, you guys have been delightful. This is a new material night, and that's all the new material I got to work on, so you've been absolutely great. I've adored you. And now you're in for a real treat, because here's a lady who's very, very funny, but she's also here just to work on some new material, so I know you're going to give her lots of love and laughter and applause. My close personal friend, Bridget McGuire.